Peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism. Peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism. This is the Prince of Pan-Africanism coming to you live, Western Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, PA. Shout out to all the brothers and sisters in Pittsburgh who came out last night. I totally enjoyed the event, the activity, the conversation, the dialogue, the reasoning at the Community Empowerment Association. 6 years was way too long. 6 years was way too long, Pittsburgh. I promise not to stay away so long. Shout out to the brothers and sisters who made the journey from Ohio. Good to see some of the Ohio family in the building. Good to see the Fergusons. Good to see the Fergusons, king and queen, husband and wife, brother and sister, who were the first to bring me to Pittsburgh back in 2014. Glad to see they still rocking with the Prince. Thank you to the Fergusons for introducing me to Pittsburgh. Sister Janine and her powerful husband. Appreciate y'all. Brothers and sisters, it's time for DeSoto, Texas and Shreveport. It's time for DeSoto, Texas and Shreveport. It's time for the double debut, DeSoto, Texas and Shreveport. But I want to say something about this Supreme Court Justice nomination. I want to say something about this Supreme Court Justice nomination coming up for President Joe Biden. Democrat President Joe Biden. He will be making his first Supreme Court nomination, probably the only one of his term. He promised on the campaign trail that he would nominate a black woman for Supreme Court Justice. Let me remind you, President Joe Biden promised on the campaign trail that he would nominate a black woman to be Supreme Court Justice of the United States of America. He promised that, brothers and sisters. But the question that we have today is, will Joe Biden keep his word? Will Joe Biden nominate a black woman, the first ever African queen, to sit on the Supreme Court? Now, in African culture, justice is often symbolized by the African woman. In African culture, the black woman represents the scales of justice. So let's see if President Joe Biden will keep his word to the Negro community, okay? Let's see if he will keep his word to the Democratic Party plantation slaves of the black community. Will he do what he said he would do, and that is nominate a black woman to sit on the bench of the Supreme Court? Let's see if he's going to keep his word. But even if he keeps his word, the question for those of us who are not part of the Kool-Aid gang, those who just believe whatever the white-controlled media tells you, for those of us who are thinking conscious Africans, even if he keeps his word, we have to ask ourselves, does it even matter? Does it even matter? We've had Thurgood Marshall, rest in peace, who did good works for the African people, but him being on the bench didn't matter. You got Coon Justice Clarence Coon Thomas on the bench right now. Does it even matter? So even if he puts a black woman on the bench, what is she going to do about mass incarceration? How will she decide about miseducation? How will she vote on police genocide? How will she vote on economic castration? You understand me, brothers and sisters? Is he going to give us another Barack Obama? A Kamala Harris? What good is a black woman on the Supreme Court if it ain't nothing but another Kamala Harris, another Condoleezza Rice, another Barack Obama, a Michelle Obama? What good is it, brothers and sisters? Let us think deeply about this. Let us think deeply about this, brothers and sisters. I'm coming to you live, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Let us think deeply about this. We're going to talk about this in DeSoto Saturday. What good is a black woman on the Supreme Court if she's not going to vote for black consciousness? That's why I always tell you, I utilize a two-pronged question for determining who's an African or not. Being biologically black does not make you African. You must be biologically and psychologically black. You must be consciously black. You must be spiritually black. You must be emotionally black. You must be culturally black. You must be intellectually African, brothers and sisters. DNA is not enough. The chromosomes is not enough. The blood is not enough. The ancestors is not enough. Are you psychologically and spiritually committed to African liberation? What are you going to do? Put a mixed race coon up there? Or a full-blooded Afro-coon up there? Who are you going to put up there? Or he might put one of our immigrant African brothers and sisters up there, not the ones who see themselves as Pan-Africanists like the rest of us, but ones who think they better than blacks in America, ones who don't feel they have anything in common with the American African. Is that what they're going to do? Shout out to my African immigrant brothers and sisters. We all one family. But you got coons in your community, just like we got coons in the American African community. There's coons in the Caribbean African community. There's coons in the Canadian African community. There's coons in the South American African community. There's coons in the Australian African community. There's coons everywhere. But he might find an immigrant African coon and put them up there. He might find another Clarence Thomas, the female Clarence Thomas. What good is a female Clarence Thomas on the Supreme Court? But you know what? It will put Negroes back to sleep. It would put Negroes back to sleep. It would put Negroes back to sleep because we love symbols, boy. Oh, we love some symbols. Black people love some symbols. Maya Angelou on a quarter, we love some symbols. Congressional Medal of Honor to Emmett Till and Mamie Till Mobley, and they both are in the grave. We love them symbols. What about Harriet Tubman on a $20 bill? We love them symbols. What about the Juneteenth holiday? We love them symbols. What about the Dr. King holiday? We love them symbols. What about Kwanzaa at the White House? We love them symbols. What could be a better symbol to put Negroes back to sleep? What could be a better symbol? What is something Joe Biden can do that won't change a damn thing, but it would shut black people up for the rest of his term? What is the one thing President Joe Biden can do that don't mean a damn thing, but it would shut black people up for the rest of his term? Put a black woman on the Supreme Court. I can't think of a better Machiavellian strategy. I can't think of a better irrelevant move by President Joe Biden than to put a black woman on the Supreme Court. It will satisfy the feminists. It will satisfy the integrationists. It will satisfy the Democratic Party plantation slaves. It will satisfy the bourgeoisie. Even a lot of conscious brothers and sisters will see that as progress. This is why we're going to have political education class at the Jean-Jacques Dessalines Prophet Nat Turner Gymnasium. This is why we're going to have political education class at the Jean-Jacques Dessalines Prophet Nat Turner Gymnasium. Progress is not tokenism. Stop falling for tokenism. I thought we were beyond that. We dealt with tokenism in the 70s. We dealt with tokenism in the 80s. We dealt with tokenism in the 90s. Bill Clinton put more black people in his cabinet than any president in American history. Bill Clinton put more black people on his cabinet than any president in American history. And he fired more black people from his cabinet than any president in American history, en route to criminalizing child support, en route to locking up more black men than any president in American history. Beware of the deception. Beware of the distractions. Remember, the U.S. government is a perfectionistic master of one step forward and three steps backwards. Let me say it again. The entire history of the African in America, the entire history of the African in America is the history by the U.S. government of taking one step forward and three steps backward. One step forward and three steps backward. So black people think they moving forward because you get a little empty token and then they hit you with a crime bill. They take your kids away from you. When are we going to deal with Child Protective Services war against the black family? When are we going to deal with Child Protective Services war against the black family? I said, when are we going to deal with Child Protective Services war against the black family, brothers and sisters? That's the question. One step forward, three step backwards. Let's wake up. Let's understand, overstand, and understand we ain't got no friends. Let's wake up. Let's understand, understand, and overstand we ain't got no friends, brothers and sisters. We got to understand, overstand, and understand. We got to understand, overstand, and understand, brothers and sisters. Hit the Cash App, $FDMG School. Hit the PayPal, paypal.me/FDMG Academy. Hit the Cash App, $FDMG School. Hit the PayPal, paypal.me/FDMG Academy. It's time to wake up, Africans. It's time to wake up, Africans. It's time to organize. Nothing you can do would be more effective than mobilization and organization. Let me say it again. Nothing you do will matter more to the future of African people here, there, and everywhere than your galvanization, organization, and mobilization. You understand me? You understand me? GMO. Not genetically modified organism. GMO, not genetically modified organism. GMO, not genetically modified organism, but galvanization, mobilization, and organization. Hashtag GMO. Where the GMO at? Not another YouTube video, not another book, not another documentary, not another debate, not another town hall meeting. When are we going to galvanize, mobilize, organize? GMO. DeSoto, Texas, the event is sold out. Dr. Umar's debut in DeSoto, Texas, the event is sold out. My apologies to my Dallas family. I know y'all was pulling up on me. My apologies to my Dallas family. I know y'all was pulling up on me, but the tickets in DeSoto are sold out. But you can drive 2 hours to Shreveport on Sunday. But you can drive 2 hours to Booker T. Washington High School. Pan-Africanist Booker T. Washington High School in Shreveport this Sunday. Doors open up at 3:30. Booker T. Washington, Dr. Papa debut, Booker T. Washington High School, Shreveport, Louisiana. Doors open up at 3:30. Lecture 4:30 to 6:30. Book signing 6:30 to 9:30. And then we get ready for the Year of the Tiger. Frederick Douglass and Dr. Ifatunde Oguntade. And then we get ready for the Year of the Tiger. It only comes around once every 12 years. Last time we had a Year of a Tiger, I took over the Black Consciousness Movement. Last Year of the Tiger, 2010, I took over the Black Consciousness Movement. Here we go, 12 years later. What's going to happen this year? We know what's going to happen this year. FDMG. FDMG coming. That Garvey building will be finished before the block party. Oh, yes, the gymnasium will be done, brothers and sisters. Understand, overstand, and understand. Institutionalization or extermination. We will either create our own reality. We will rebuild the Black Wall Street, or we will perish as fools. That's right. There is no more sucking the titty of the U.S. government. There is no more sucking the breasts of the U.S. government. Helping black folks, not like they ever did, but giving the illusion that they were helping black folks is all the way over. It is dead and gone. Black people will either do for ourselves or we are doomed. There is no more begging the government. And you did this to yourself. When Barack Obama got elected and you acted like it was a solution. You did this to yourself. When Barack Obama got elected, you acted like you got what you wanted. When Barack Obama got elected, you acted like nothing else mattered to Black America but a black man in the White House. You did this to yourself when you didn't make that Negro do one thing for black people for 8 long years. That's right. Everything Joe Biden is doing, Barack Obama did the same thing. Barack Obama did the same thing, and you celebrated him. We put ourselves in this hole. We put ourselves in this hole. St. Louis, I was there last week. Where were you, Rico? I was already there. St. Louis, I was already there, but I will be coming back for the Black Parent Boot Camp of Black Missouri. Brothers and sisters, we got to organize, mobilize. We got to energize. We got to galvanize. The Most Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey, greatest black leader of the 20th century and greatest organizer in human history. I said the Most Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey, greatest black leader of the 20th century, greatest Pan-Africanist of all time, and greatest organizer, period, in human history. Said if the black man and woman are not careful, you will drink in all the poison of Western civilization and die from the effects of it. Mr. Garvey said the greatest weapon used against the Negro is disorganization. Garvey said that a race without power and authority is a race without respect. Marcus Garvey said, until the African has something he can call his own, until the African can lay claim to the industries that humanity needs to survive upon, you'll never be respected. We are a race of consumers. We don't manufacture, we don't distribute, we consume. We don't produce, we don't manufacture, we don't distribute, we consume. And until you become a producer, until you involve yourself in the serious affairs of mankind, you will always be an afterthought in this world. They rape the resources of Mother Africa and treat you like a slave. They exploit your sons and daughters through athletics and entertainment and treat you like a damn slave. They make trillions of dollars off of black culture and they still treat you like a damn slave. When are we going to wake up? You send your kids to go fight in his war, you get nothing for it. When are we going to wake up? You slave for him, decade after decade. You dedicate your whole life to a white corporation, and then they fire you 5 years before retirement. And before they fire you, they force you to train your white replacement. Before they fire you, they force you to train your white replacement. When are we going to wake up?